Also on last night's pregame show, Draymond Green made mention of the comments he made on Shaq's podcast that were regarding Stephen A. Smith. So here's Dre apologizing for how it all went down.
I also got to say something. Shaq, I was on your podcast, the big podcast, and you just mentioned Stephen A. And I said something that didn't come out the way I said it, so I want to apologize to him. I said that publicly. I'm going to apologize publicly. The way I meant for it to come out, it didn't, so I was wrong for that. I do apologize.
Do you apologize to Stephen A?
Yeah, I apologize.
I was going to have, he told me he's going to fly down here and kick you.
All right, I ain't worried about that. I ain't worried about that at all, Stephen A. But I do apologize.
Charles is the best. Always bringing a little. I feel so serious, and then bringing a little levity to the situation. Right. Listen, I'm just loving this moment. All these men being accountable, apologizing. I mean, how do I get this in my life? Stephen A., your reaction to Dre?
I got to admit to you, I was shocked. And I think that the word that, hit me was it humbled. It humbled me in certain ways from this standpoint. I thought it was a real big thing for him to do. I never expected that. And it just validated, all the things that I feel about Draymond. Draymond and I are pretty close. And, we've talked a lot over the years. He's got a lot of things going on in his life that are very, very beneficial. And I think that there's a lot of things that he wants to accomplish beyond his playing career. And I'm always here to help anytime he needs anything from me. So it took me aback when he said what he said, because I knew that wasn't true. I've always spoken up about his character, and I've always been a supporter of his. But once I was grateful for his apology, a bit of humility hit me, because I started thinking about Allen Iverson. And then when I thought about Draymond on Shaq's podcast, it hit home for me, Doggy and Jay, in ways that it didn't hit me days ago. And it reminded me of Allen Iverson. I was the beat writer for the Philadelphia 76ers, covering the Philadelphia Inquirer. And Allen Iverson and I hadn't spoken in 2 years. And I was told that he was so upset that if we saw one another, it would be volatile. And when I heard that, I got my boys and me, and I flew down to Atlanta looking for him so we can meet up and talk. And when we met up and talked, within 5 minutes, I was rendered speechless, because Allen Iverson didn't appreciate a story that I had written for the Philadelphia Inquirer. And all I said in the story was, you can't be partying. You got to be focused. You can't be partying and all of this stuff. And that was all I said. I didn't say anything else. And Allen Iverson looked at me and he said to me, "You have any idea all the stuff that has been written about me and has been said about me, Stephen A. You know I don't give a damn. I care about one thing and one thing only. It came from you." And at that moment, knowing all the personal things that I know about him, that he entrusted with me, even though I never revealed any of the personal stuff he said, what he was saying was, anything that's coming from me stung, because I know him in ways that most do not. And I'm not saying that I know Draymond better than NBA players and his contemporaries and all of that stuff. But as a media member, there's a lot of things that I know about Draymond that Draymond has trusted and confided in me about. And so when you see people talking about you and talking about your character, the fervor with which I normally speak up for you, it wasn't there that day, because it just couldn't happen. Nurkic happened, Gobert happened inside of a month, and the facts are the facts. But I also understood how it must have hit him that the regular fervor with which I would attach my support of him to, it wasn't there at that moment. And I didn't see it that way until he apologized. And so, once again, it's lesson learned. It's too many of us fighting and being divisive and all. We could disagree, man, but listen, man, life is too short. I'm not trying to do all of that, man. I want everybody happy and stuff like that. So I understood Draymond's point. I really appreciated and apologized. I was touched by it, and I'm thankful for it.